came for birthday cake or Christmas, and she really didn't know why until she got told much later in life. There was some controversy in the family that isolated everybody, but my mom insisted that my brother and sister and I have a much more family-oriented upbringing. And so like every Christmas, every birthday party was like crowded and loud and celebratory. And my mom insisted on kind of recreating a family culture that she didn't have. And as I'm watching this over the course of, I'm nearly 50 now, but through weddings, divorces, adoptions, these massive family events, my mom has insisted upon making the table bigger and longer every time. There's new foods that show up that she's experimenting with, and it's like this entirely new family culture that we didn't have 50 years ago. And that has always stuck with me. And I kind of thought that was unique to my family, but it's not. And a lot of the places that I read, people I talk to with this book, it was the women in their homes that were the repositories of this very important culture. And it became readily apparent to me that if this story of food in war is also the story of women in war. Because across the world, and I'll be very simplistic here, but women and girls are mostly at home and are mostly doing the cooking. And I don't mean to make that sound trite. It's a very important thing. It is our food culture. It is created in the home, and it's the men who take it outside and make it in the restaurants. And that's historically how it's been. Now it's changed quite a bit in different countries. It's much more dynamic. But in a lot of other places, it's mostly men who run the restaurants. But that food culture that they are helping to expand outside the home is created inside the home. And I think we want to be very serious about protecting food culture, but we want to be more serious about protecting women and girls in the war. And one of the things to question about this, I think maybe one of the reasons, why is this? I think when we look at, why do I say this? We spend so much money as the world, namely the UN, on protecting old buildings, art, and architecture, right? We have legal regimes set up to investigate and prosecute people for blowing up churches or destroying libraries in war. But our food cultures are arguably as important, and they get short shrift. We don't spend any money, there's no policy, there's no legal protection for protecting culinary traditions or documenting them. Outside of war, the UNESCO does that, but in war, we don't. I was sitting in Afghanistan, we were in Afghanistan, and I just remember the millions of dollars that were being spent on repairing old minarets. Absolutely, it has to be done. But yet, a food culture was being completely destroyed by a generation of war. And that was mainly because the policies and the rules of protecting culture were written by old rich white guys in Geneva, essentially, a long time ago. And cooking, food culture is mainly the